So the lessons from a startup that can be potentially applied to personal development, there are actually quite a lot. But to start from, when a startup fails, usually entrepreneurs, they do not stop right there. They try to innovate more, either taking it forward or working on a completely new project. And there's a way that you can learn from your failures in the past in the personal development as well. You can learn about how to succeed from a failure, from your experiences, what not to do when you are going for success, for example. Just to give you a quick example, I've liked this quote from Richard Branson. He said, I've always found that the first step of overcoming fear is figuring out exactly what you're afraid of. I think this quote is really valuable both in the case of startups and personal development. What I could say is that Richard Branson is not the person he is now just because he one day woke up thinking about launching Virgin Airlines, but he is what he is now because he learned from his mistakes in the past. He had failure of several startups. He started out selling just Christmas trees, and then he moved ahead. He launched Virgin Cola at some point, which didn't work out quite well. He launched Virgin Vodka at some point. It didn't work out, and eventually he stuck with the Virgin Airlines, which worked out really well for him. So I would say that just like a startup, if you fail, don't stop right there. Don't say that, oh, I cannot do it anymore. If you fail, take it as a learning, and take it as a learning, and you move forward. Change your plans, change a different idea. Maybe you can try to think of ways you can succeed in a way that you're overcoming your fear of failure. I think that's very important, both in the case of startups and personal development. When it comes to networking, for example, in the initial stages, a startup entrepreneur goes to a lot of events, a lot of potential partner meetings, a lot of meetups which combine people with the same mentality or creativity, and when they talk, some ideas are generated and they create new opportunities for people. This is the way that a startup entrepreneur can innovate. Sometimes he can innovate his products, he can innovate ways of running his business. And in the same way, when you're looking at it for personal development, networking is very, very important because it gives you a perspective of what is out there in the market. If you are, for example, a product developer and then you go to a networking meeting and you meet another product developer, you can find out ways of what are their softwares that they're using, for example, in their company to innovate the products, and you can imply or you can adapt your own projects, your own professional development in that way. What I do believe is when you're networking, if you're going to an event, do not just go there expecting to meet someone randomly. I would always suggest, that's what I do personally as well, is that if you already know the list of people who are going there, try to scan out the people who may provide you meaningful information. In this way, the communication is more effective. You know exactly what you would expect from the person. You would know exactly what kind of questions you could ask that person for your own personal development. I think this is extremely effective. I've tried it before, so it was an experiment which I did before, and I think it succeeded really well, that I know how to approach the targeted people that may help me out in the future. It can be a potential partner, it can be a potential coach for my events, for example. It can be a potential contact in the future who can remember me and say, oh, okay, yeah, I met you in that event. So it's extremely important, not just for startups themselves or startup entrepreneurs, to try to spread their word out by networking and try to find out what's in the market by networking, but also for you as a professional, as your own personal source of network, which you can count on in the future. It's very important to sort out who you're going to meet before even you go to the event itself.